Should be audio in the room now.
Testing audio, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing audio. Testing audio, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you hear me out there? Gotcha, very good. All right, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for showing up at my YouTube Live. Well, let's take a look at some of these charts and see if we're starting to bend over and start to head back down in our indices now, or if they just need a 1 to 2 day breather before we head back up. So that obviously would be the question when we get a day like today where they stop going up and start heading down a little bit. It's the first thing that we're going to think is this topping out? Well, let's go find out together because I don't know. So let's go take a look. So where we stand is S&P we'll look at first. We're still in the channel, which has held well. Where it began here, got near, held it, held again, here we are now. No grave danger, we actually bought today, got out on the nice rally to the highs and sidestepped. So bravo for another good day in the S&P from OMNI. Actually, for the last couple of weeks, with a slip here and there, OMNI's been killing it. So thank you, OMNI, but you know the motto here, head down, nose to the grindstone, on to the next trade, right? Let's just move forward. So as far as I'm concerned, for Wednesday, the S&P doesn't look terrible. Looking at just the S&P itself, that wouldn't scare me. But we're going to look at a few others and see if the other corresponding markets, the other indices, have that same look to them. Let's go check out that NASDAQ next. So here we are, NASDAQ chart. Same charts that we use every day when we do a YouTube Live. We let them morph into something new. We don't change the chart. So you had a channel. Seemed to have fallen out of the channel a little bit here, which is where we assume the next hurdle would actually be. You know, the 200 ball moving average, you get above it very nicely. In fact, let's take a look at this. We finally get above the average, fall down and get below the channel, but we hit the 200 ball moving average this morning and rallied out. Because right now, at this moment in time, the price is trading right here. Let's see if I can do something with that little dash line there. There we go. Here's where the market stands right now. So it hit the 200 ball moving average this morning and rallied out. And it's sitting here now. It doesn't mean it won't go lower, but that's where it is now. So maybe it'll get itself right back into the channel. So that doesn't look scary, even though it fell out of the channel. I don't find that very scary just yet. Maybe, I'm not saying that this will happen, but maybe the channel has expanded a little bit. We'll see. We'll let the market tell us that. So for now, I'm not terribly worried. Sun King, can I look at AZO? Sure, when we get to stocks, keep it in mind, buddy. I'm not terribly worried about either of them. Nice pullback to the 200 ball moving average today. Hit it and rallied up. So far we're okay, no panic. We're not in the NASDAQ. We did not trade the NASDAQ today, but we did trade the S&P and the gold, and both were successful. Russell as well, but Russell was a pass out. Let's go to the Russell now. Russell 2000. Same chart in last night's video. But in this case, you fell below the 200 ball moving average and below this little channel. Now granted, there's a larger channel here to be contended with. And let's go see if we fell out of that one as well. We may have actually fallen out of this channel as well. Let's go look. So that would be one of the negatives if that's the case. I don't like the way it fell out of the channel here. And then we had a channel that started here and went up. We did not fall out of that one yet. That's why we have these circles here. We've had this recorded in the past. So let me just darken it in, put it back where it belongs. So we've still got the major channel, and you know what? We did not come out of that major channel, not even slightly. So I'm not terrified of that one either. even though it is below the 200, I mean, I'd like to see it stay above. You don't like to see a turnaround day like this one and then get below the 200, so we'll take it one day at a time. But we did not get through the major trend line yet, so let's not do any panicking there. And then you can go to the transportation average, another one of our indices. And here, same sort of thing, you stayed above the 200 ball moving average so far for the day. Here's what the day looks like, that green bar right there. And you are above the 200 ball moving average in the transportation as well. So not terrible, holding at right, basically holding right at the channel and the 200 ball moving average, and that's what last night's video was all about, that many markets did hold at the 200 and where the channel came together. I was calling it the crux in last night's YouTube video, and they rallied out. So now the transportation average is doing the same. Why shouldn't it rally out? Dow. And here's that little crux I was speaking about. Right here where the 200 bar moving average meets this channel and the market hits it at the same time. Boom, like magic, it rides back up the channel. So back to the transportation average again. We're at that crux right now. Shouldn't it hold? Especially if we expand what the channel looks like. Enable extensions. Isn't it supposed to hold and walk its way up the channel? According to what the Dow Jones did. And let's go back and look at that NASDAQ again. At that same crux, the NASDAQ did hold for a couple of days, but didn't actually hold as well as we wanted. But look at the ES. Right at that crux, the EX held perfectly. The market hits the 200 bar moving average and the bottom of the channel, and it rides itself back up the channel. So let's consider that that's what's coming next. Unless the market turns, the OMNI did not turn red for trading today on Wednesday. It stayed dead green, which is why we bought S&P and got out on a rally. So that's what I'm looking at in our indices. No panic here yet. I wouldn't worry about them yet. We are day traders. We'll take this one day at a time. And so that's where we stand at this point with our indices. If you have any questions on indices, ask them now. Otherwise, we'll move out to gold and then we'll look at some stocks together. So we're good, guys. No questions on the indice charts that we've just looked at. Ready to move on? Okay, so let's move on. So we've looked at our indices, and they're still holding their channels. Let's go look at the gold market. Well, if you want to look at a stock, keep your stocks in mind. Let's take a look at the commodities, and then we'll roll out to the stocks, okay? So you want to look at BA, and you've got AZO. Let's keep a running total. So what does my platinum room look like? My platinum room is going to have classes like the one you are live at now, and you will be in a live chat room where I can then speak with you and give you recommendations. So if we're going to buy gold, or this morning we sold gold, let's sell gold at 1331. Everybody get in, put the stop in up here. I'll send you a flash update. I'll be able to give you signals just like that. The reason why is because at this point in time, my platinum members are in an open public room, and if I give the signals out verbally, everybody hears them at once, and that does not give my Omniacs an edge. So I've decided to create a platinum room where I will give you the recommendations, I will speak them to you first, then type up and send out the flash updates, so they will still go out. And when I hold live classes, only the platinum members will be privy to those classes, unless I do a short class here on YouTube Live. So basically I'm going to sort of abandon my free public room and just concentrate on my traders in my platinum room. So with the platinum membership, you will receive the trading recommendations, both verbally live and your flash updates. You will be in a private room where we can discuss anything we want, and there is no public to do drive-bys and make noise. We will have chart courses together, and basically you have my mentorship right there at all times in the Platinum Room. So that's what will come with the Platinum service. Let's get back to the charts. If you guys are interested in the Platinum service, it's really simple. Just go to livewithoscar.com. It's always on my charts. Here it is somewhere. Go here, join the service, and I'm offering discounts. We're working on the website today and for the last 10 days, 12 days now, and we'll be working on it for the next 5. But we're here doing enhancements. We're going to be offering new deals. You can pay annually and get a huge discount. If you're an OMNI Camp alumni, you can get a 50% discount on my recommendations if you join annually. We're working on stuff like that. When everything's implemented and on the site, I'll give you more, but we're working on things of that nature. Another idea I had, which I will implement for sure this week, is this. If you decide to purchase the OMNI trading recommendations, take the big discount and forward yourself for the year. So if you pay for the year, if you then decide to sign up for an OMNI Camp in that calendar year, I will basically credit every dollar you spent on your annual membership and credit it towards your OMNI Camp. So I'll knock a few $1,000 off your OMNI Camp or whatever the number is if you want to purchase an annual subscription to my Live with Oscar recommendations and decide to come out to one of my OMNI Camps. So I've got stuff like that I'm working on. At OMNI Camp, we're going to be giving out laptops with all my software already installed. You know, a lot of good things are coming. But we're here to do a class. So let's do that stuff later. Let's concentrate on the markets. All right, so gold looking still smart overall. If we take a look at it, and we've done this, we've followed it, created this beautiful cup. Then it went into a handle. Traders, you know us, you know me and the Omni, we recognized this all the way down here and started telling you guys what it was. You've been following it in all my videos. So turns out to be, thank the Lord, we called that one correctly. It was a cup, and it was a handle, which filled in, went to a bull flag, which broke out, went to our target of 1349 and stopped cold, and has backed off since. Now the back off, obviously Omni now is starting to give me sell signals, and we sold gold today, and we made money selling gold today. Thank you, OmniX. That was fun, wasn't it? So we traded gold today and made some money doing it. And now, you know, Omni's giving us sell signals, and could this be a bear flag building? Could it be part of a bull flag? Let's let it morph into whatever it wants. It's not in any form of a flag. I am willing to just take whatever Omni we get day by day. And the Omni today said sell it. We did successfully. We sidestepped and on to the next trade. So that's on your daily gold. But when you switch out to a weekly, the weekly is pretty much still nice and strong. Solid looking market. You know, a little bit of a back off, but these weeks will come. Now, this is what I mean by that. If you're looking at this chart, so you had a back off week so far this week, right? I mean, it's only Wednesday, but we had a back off week. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Do we know what today is? Today's only Tuesday. I have Wednesday on one of my charts. When we go back to the S&P, I'll fix it. In any event, it's only been 2 days. You had a pullback weekly bar on your weekly chart. Well, same thing happened last week, right? You had a weekly, on the weekly chart, a couple of weeks back, you had a downward week. And a couple of weeks before that, you had a downward week because the downs are red and the ups are green. But they're not all that often, and they don't wreck the market. So looking at the weekly chart, I think gold looks fantastic. So it'll pull back a little bit. We'll take a couple of short sell signals, but I'm actually looking for the point where it wants to get long again. That's not up to me. That's up to Omni. I think when we get long again, we'll extend up to that 1365 area. But for now, Omni asked me to sell it today, which we did. We sold short, and I'm not buying anything until Omni flips back to a green arrow. Just wanted to show you these charts. Now let's go look back at the one where I think I have a, yes, you have Wednesday on here. How sick is that? It's not Wednesday yet, Boy, Omni sure does know how to tell the future, huh? All right, that's been corrected. So, you guys wanted to look at a few charts, huh? What do I think above 13? I think it'll get to 1365. I think we'll take out stops above 1365 and we'll hit 1395, Frank. But let's take it one day at a time. So now we're going to run over to some stocks and see what you cats think of that. And Sun King was the first with AZO. Let's see what you got, Sun King. AZO. Ooh, gap, ugly gap opening. Turned around, dropped, and put in what you could call a key reversal bar. Right now, that is absolutely a key reversal bar. We'll see if that's what it turns out to be before the day is over. We're only midday. But with the opening gap, at least it's going to want to fill the gap, if not more. This is, by the way, AZO, and that was for Sun King. All right. What could you do with it today? Nothing if you're not in it. You stay away from it today. But once you come down and fill the gap, you can certainly find some kind of channel you can form out of this if you want to take a look around and see if there's something that you can form a channel out of. Or you can look at it like this and say it fell out of the channel once, but that didn't stop it from going back up. There's a lot of ways to skin this one. There's a much bigger channel that comes to mind when I look at it from here. You got this whole thing going on, so there's all kinds of stuff going on here. But everything that we've looked at points to this thing needing a breather at least for a couple of days, as it did up here. What else do we have here? In my chat room, we've got AGen. I like that one. That's one of my stocks still. Let's go look at that. Ooh, ugly bear flag. And what's that, AGEN, right? Is that what I put in? Yes, AGEN. So, right off the bat, I would call that a bear flag. And I certainly wouldn't get long until it proves to not be one. And then if it's not one, we'll figure out what it was. But I would consider this some kind of a flag. Something. I don't know, stretch the imagination a little bit. But I wouldn't get long that yet. It is above the 200, so it's promising overall. But I would wait to find out if this is a bear flag or not before I mess with it. Let me just redraw that because the channel got too small. There you go. It could be a bear flag, right? I don't see why you'd argue against it being one. Interesting. I can't get these channels to separate for nothing. Come on, boys. There we go. All right. So yeah, that's something. It's not perfect, but it's there. None of the flags are perfect anyway. They're just visual. They're not real. The flag isn't real, right? As we know, it's just a visual. So yeah, AGN, I wouldn't be a buyer right now. Not for the moment. And let's see. We have TXMD. That one I do not know, kids. What's TXMD? Anybody know? You put it in my trading room. Tell me what it is. A lot of range in it. Small price. But inside of its dollar, it sure does move a lot. Right? Because, look, this is within $1. This is $1. Here's what I'll say. I don't trade this nonsense. On to the next stock. What else do you have? Well, let's just label it. That was TXMD. It could move $1 in a day. There's too much work involved in it. The possibility of making $2 in 10 days. We're not long-term traders. This isn't anything that we can trade. So, on to another stock. ESTY, huh? That doesn't look like it's going to show up for us. Whatever that was, it will not produce. All right, what else do we have in mind, kids? Any other stock in mind before I start looking at my own? What do I think about oil? All right, I can go there. We can do oil. What I think about oil, the new adage will become, you'll be hearing it for years and years. It'll take a little time, but it's coming our way. How goes the stock market? How goes crude? That is what the world will become. Just give it time, like everything else. So I'm not saying it has to happen today, and it will not be every single day like the parallel markets. But this will be sort of the mentality behind crude oil. So, yeah, we will go look at BA, Justin, no doubt. So there is the possibility of this being a channel. Looks like it's building into a channel. And we can slap the 50 on there just to see what the rest of the world is looking at. This is a common average. We know everybody else is looking at it. All right, so you've got that there. And basically, well, I guess we do nothing unless we see it break this, right? And then maybe if it breaks that, we start to wonder if it's going to the 50. So for now, because it does have some kind of a look of a channel to it, I think we sit tight, take whatever OMNI signals we get, and see what happens at that channel. And you wanted to look at BA, huh? So yeah, for crude, I had no trade today. We'll see what OMNI wants to give us for tonight. Maybe we'll trade it tomorrow. I don't know. We only traded S&P, Russell, and gold for today for OMNI. Winners, baby. Winners. One pass out, two winners. Next, BA. Woo-hoo. Are you still in Boeing? Because if so, would you adopt me? I want to be your son. If you're long that stock, I want to be adopted by you. You must have a lot of money by now. Of course, kidding, but very nice stock. Very nice stock. Looks fantastic. Somebody mentioned palladium. I will admit, last couple of days, my palladium chart's been coming up really weird. Let's see what happens. Palladium. PAH19. I think it's just going to come up all messy. Yeah. I mean, for whatever reason, the last couple of days I'm getting dots. I'll call my provider and find out what that is. But it's the most expensive metal I've ever seen in my life. Just to give this a whirl. Let's go try palladium on a different chart. Let's just see if it'll come up on anything else. Let's overrun the gold chart for a moment. There you go. There's palladium. I've never seen a market so clean in my life. So here's palladium on a daily bar. This is the prettiest thing, the prettiest metal run I've ever seen, ever in my 38 years. I've never seen a metal run like this before. Clean, clear, it just runs. Smart, not many pullbacks. I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, fundamentally, I don't know what the Russians doing with this, but look at palladium. This is, as far as I'm concerned, so, when I started in the business, this thing was, I don't know, 150 bucks palladium. When I started in the business, gold was $270. When I started, silver was $13. So, you know what? Let's write this out. You want to see something amazing? In 1982, silver was about $13.50 per ounce. Gold was about $265. Now, here's the interesting thing. Oh, that should say silver. When I started in the business, silver was about $13.50. Gold was about $265. The palladium was so cheap, I don't know if it was $130. So, since 1982, now here we are. This is why where are we in gold? 1,327.50 about right now. Palladium is 1,522. So, here's what I've been telling people. Silver never goes nowhere. It is worthless. It is useless. It is nothing more than a metal that, for some reason, we have this psychological. I don't know what that. It's not. It's a biblical metal, right? So there's that attachment to us psychologically, and people think it's going to go up, and it's a great thing to hold on to. And I've been hearing about silver since I started in the business in 1982. And here's my point behind this. In 1982, silver was $13.50. Now it's $15.50. But gold was $265. Now it's $1,327. Palladium was so cheap it wasn't worth putting on the board. And now it's $1,522. You know which one never goes anywhere? Which one is a dog? That is a dog. Don't ever listen to the commercials about silver. Don't listen to anything. This is a dog. It never goes anywhere. Ever, never. It is a dog. Forget silver. Don't listen to the commercials. Don't buy silver. When it goes up, sell it. It is a dog. Because look at the comparison. I've been in this business for 38 years, and silver's done nothing. So that, if you ask me, is something to stay away from. Everything else, but look I've never seen a metal go from 100 and change to $1,522 in my career. I mean, gold wasn't able to do that and sustain its price. So very interesting what's going on in your palladium. Now, you would think copper would be a big mover because we're switching to what kind of cars? Electric cars. What do you need for electric cars? Copper like crazy. So copper should be the one really going over the next few years. Electric cars and copper go hand in hand. Here's a stat. 3 to 4 times the amount. And this is absolute. You need 3 to 4 times the amount of copper in an electric car compared to a gas-burning car. Why isn't copper going through the roof? It should as time passes. Let's make this not red. Let's make this green. As time passes, copper should really begin to catch on unless they find something else to replace copper with in electric vehicle production. Which whatever they come up with, they'll come up with. But for now, it's copper. So let's see what happens here. It should, over time, not today, but over time, copper should really end up enjoying this whole push towards electric vehicles. We can replace copper with silver, huh? Why don't we replace copper? I got an idea. I've solved the puzzle. I've got this. You'll see, I've got this. Here's what I think. Let's replace copper and cars with my worthless bitcoins. You could melt them down and make copper out of it, or you could make conductor out of it. So, of course, there's no such thing as real Bitcoin, but my Bitcoin's worth about as much as melting down and turning it into dust. We'll see where it ends up. You know, I still have almost 3 years, right? I had a 4-year plan when I bought Bitcoin, so I'm not afraid that it's going to never get there, but it's not doing anything now. I'm not even pulling up a Bitcoin chart. No dice. I don't want to see one. What else do we have going on here? Any other stock? All right, so let's go look at the list of stocks that we generally like to go over. I think I actually put that list here so we wouldn't forget. Is this it? I know I have a list of stocks that I think are smart for us to go over. And let's see. Yeah, here we go. Had one. It turned into an airplane and floated away. Let's go look at a couple of stocks before we end this barn burner. And we should put gold back up here. We don't lose our chart and all our fun stuff that's on it. And we'll move to a chart that we can pillage and put some other stuff on. So, Apple certainly looks a bit better today than it did 3 or 4 days ago, right, when it was sitting in this thing. We looked at it almost every day, and I said, for now, you know, you can almost call this a possibility of a bear flag, but let's not do that yet till it calls itself. So, of course, we didn't do anything with it. It's not a bear flag. At least it doesn't look like it's one now. And it's behaving, right? That looks like a market that's behaving a little bit. So we'll see if we get an Omni buy signal on it, or an Omni something on it. We'll check that out. But for now, you know, it looks like you put a gun to my head. I would tell you to get long this, not short, but I have no trade there. And I think we've been looking at Netflix was next on that list. Ooh, maybe it's finally coming out of that flag type looking formation thing. Look. How about that, huh? And then, of course, once we get out of the flag, we can go call this a channel, and we can deal with that channel when we get there. Let's just make sure we stay out of the flag before we jump ahead. Nice to see that we're above the 200 bar moving average, and I think we don't need the 50 sitting here anymore. It's just getting in the way. So that looks all right. Go Netflix. I think that chart looks pretty good, actually. Amazon. Boy, oh boy, is that stuck in the mud lately. Now, we go over this almost every day, right? Let's put the 50 back on. We're stuck between the 50 and the 200 like there's some kind of Bollinger Bands. Look. This thing is just stuck between the 200 and the 50. Isn't that crazy? Little dip, and that's about it. So until we get out of that, we defined it with this flat or possible bull flag. Really not much you can do. I would just take any Omni trade I get inside of this and wait until Amazon makes its move. Don't know what the Omni says now. Can't run it till after the close today, but that's what I'd look at. KMI? We can look at KMI, but I don't know if you're even watching. Are you watching this class right now, Market, or are you just typing stuff in the room? Because there's no sense in me looking at your stocks if you're not paying attention to the class. Let me know, kid. Amazon. Goog. What are you doing, Mr. Google? Whole lot of nothing. Still below the 200. Still has a huge head and shoulders. Doesn't look like anything at the moment. No changes there. Nothing I would trade. Facebook. No changes here really. Challenging the 200 like everything else has been for quite some time. No real change there. We'll revisit that again when it does something cooler. Twitter. bear flag look to me. I don't know. Don't like any of these stocks as far as trading them. They just kind of look. I don't know. I like the commodities better lately. CMG has been through the roof. Every time I look at it, it's higher again. Let's see where it's been. This crazy chart. Look at this crazy stock with a bull flag on top of it. This looks good. I wouldn't expect it to fill its gap. I expect it to just keep on going. Well, that looks good. I'd look for a buy in that if I had a green Omni. Skyworks used to be one of my favorites. Not so much anymore, as you can see. Remember we talked about this being ugly? And we've dropped ever since. And it still looks ugly to me. So this, if you ask me, is ugly. They make components for iPhones for Apple. This is Skyworks. I used to follow them all the way up. I was happy with this stock when it was going up. Not so happy with it now. Let's see. And then there's Boeing we looked at. And let's just keep our eye on that poor GE. Maybe one day it'll be saved. I feel bad for it. Yeah, this thing can't get out of its own way no matter what it tries. Look what happened here. It cannot get out of its own way. I even tried to give it a cup and handle. I mean, I'm cheering it along, you know what I mean? Doing everything I can for GE, but I don't know. It's a sad case. Win and LVS? Sure, we could do that then. So this is what the premium room is going to be like, not YouTube Live. You guys know that, right? I'm shutting all you guys out. You don't come to my premium room, you don't get this. This is Win, huh? So I'm doing YouTube Lives now, but the YouTube Lives coming in the future are going to be short, quick. The long classes will be in my platinum room. That's Win, heading towards the 200. Flavor of the month. You got to wait for it to get above that. Let's give that an arrow. 200 bar mover. That's all right to keep it green. You guys get the point. That is the flavor of the month. You don't get above that, you don't go anywhere. And Win. And what else did you want to look at? LVS, huh? Las Vegas Sands. How much is the fee? Same price. I'm typing, sorry. What are we looking at? Las Vegas Sands. No different, huh? I don't see any difference here. Same as but I actually like, if you want to know the truth, I like this better than Win. I like the chart structure of LVS more than I like Win, Dana. If I had to choose, I'd buy this over the Win chart that we just looked at. Just in case you're wondering. So far, I have to admit we're doing all right in the E-mini S&P. It has held. It's held the Omni buy all day long and coincidentally held this channel, which has nothing to do with the Omni buy. So very nice so far. I like what we're seeing in the E-mini S&P. It's, only 247 in the afternoon, but I hope it holds because I like the buy side of this until Omni turns red. Well, that was a fun little class. I hope you guys enjoyed that because I know I did. So we need to have this happen too. You guys can help me out if you want. So let's get this involved here. So remember, kids, when you're trading, try to keep your emotions out of this game. Come join me at livewithoscar.com. See me in my live trading room. And remember, keep your emotions out of this game by saying, oh, that's not spelled right. You got to wait. Hold on, hold that thought. Now we got to go back to red. This is not happening the way we had planned, I'll tell you that much, kids. Quite an exit there, huh? All right, are you ready? Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll, kids. I will see you all at the next live class.